All right, I have done a car swapperoo. So the old panel van is out sitting in the driveway now, and that's where it'll stay. Like I said, the old XH is sitting over there now. That's where she's going to live for the next little while. So I've got the yellow turbo in here now. So I'm going to knock over a few jobs on that while I collect some cash to get the kit, turbo wheels, all that other mumbo jumbo on that other one. So that'll be fine. I'll just collect some money over the next few months, so I can get all that stuff together. So I've pretty well identified what the turbo it needs to be, the kit, the parts. I've got pretty well a parts list of everything I need to do that mid-mount turbo setup on that XH. Wheels, I'm just going to keep hunting Gumtree, swap buy sell sites, and eventually I'm going to find a set of wheels. Like I said, they're going to be the post AU, in other words, after AU offset, so as I can work with the flares and all that sort of stuff on that other one. Anyway, about this one. Right, so a few jobs to do on this. What I'm going to do, instead of just sitting there writing a whole bunch of list of things to do, I'm just going to walk around it and see if I can find what I need to do on it. So generally, paint is good on this car. Paint's always been good on this car, but there's a lot of little touch-up stuff that needs to be done. So I'm going to redo all the surrounds, every black. I'm going to pull all these off, redo all them. I'm going to clean up the chrome around there and just redo all these black sills. A lot of these are gone really hard, so I may be stuck buying new ones of these. But they're not damaging the windows yet. They're not damaging the glass yet, so I might just leave that. That might be not really required. So few little jobs. So the rear view mirror got broke. That was my fault as I walked past one day with a box, grabbed it and bang, broke it. So I actually broke it. So there's two little bits in there that actually hold that in like that. But you got to pull the whole thing off and insert it to make it fit. So basically you got to build two new little I don't know, look, a little stud, I suppose you could say, on the inside of that mirror, and just take it off and redo it. So that's not a problem. So they're good other than that. So this is the other part I have to fix. This was my fault. I went around a corner in a car park one day, and yeah, I hit it. I misjudged the corner, believe it or not. An actual accident, me. But anyway, that's my own fault. So yes, I'm gonna have to do a bit of work. I'll get the panel gear out, and I'll get all that fixed up, and I'll get it all pushed back paint. So obviously that is going to affect the stripe. So I'm going to buy a stripe package for this, which you can get from the shops. I think it's a good idea to get the stripe package redone on it. I'm happy to do that. Something to do, a little bit of a job. So that's obviously going to need a paint match done on it. So that's going to be a bit of a bloody nuisance. And under here, I've got to redo all this as well. All the rust repairs have been done under here. I've done them previously. But the paint's not the right match. So again, that'll be a paint match job. As you can see, there's two colours of paint on here. And it's the same across here. So what I wanted to do, but this paint up here is, that paint is the same as that paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these taken off, get them taken off, and I'm going to repaint the boot and these things so that they match the paint across there. So why they're different, dunno. It is what it is. The car's 40-year old. I'm only the second owner, but obviously, you know, whatever happens to cars, that happens. So ironically, this bit is correct colour. So dunno. What it is, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. So across the back, it's all good around here. So I'm going to try and get this fixed up as well, but this has sort of changed the colour. That was the original colour, and obviously the word turbo was on there. So I'll get all that fixed up, and I'll get that done at the same time while I'm going around doing things. Bit of tidying up. I'm going to get all this stuff tidied up in there. So I'm going to pull the rear bumper off, redo these sections so that they're nice and they're properly painted in there as well. You can see that colour difference again. Same with under here. All the rust repairs have been done under here. I've done them previously, but you can see the paint not the right colour again. Same across here. So that was another small scrape. A bit of paint was off one day. That's not actually from a hit. I think that's just from wear and tear. So that again, I had to paint that just temporarily, just to protect the paint. Yeah, so this one here I'll take off as well. I just want to make sure that these under here, I think there's a little bit of stuff going off under there. I reckon I'm going to have to take a little bit of that paint off. There's certainly some bubbles, really starting to see some bubbles under here. So they're definitely, again, you can just sort of see them. You probably won't see them on the camera, but you can see the bubbles starting to appear. There's a very, very common spot for them to fail. Same with under here. There's a little bit of bubbles coming through the corners here. So they're going to have to take that paint back and get that resolved as well. So again, a lot of little things, but it's just things that need to be done, and it's a good opportunity. It's very cheap, doesn't cost anything under my labour. So like I said, I'll do this side as well, just to see if there's anything under there, since I'm going to be painting, doing some mostly matching paint anyway. So I'm going to pull these things off, get them redone. As you can see, half of them are broken off as well. I'll get rid of the old Ford things here, and so I'll just sort of do a nice clean up, get this car back to the way it should be. A few adjustments on the doors to do, so these need a little bit of adjustment on the hinge latches. Not difficult. Again, surrounds, get all them done. Again, not difficult, but time consuming. Getting all this back to, getting all this cleaned up, getting it all flat, and then repainting it all again. So it's just going to be time, which I'm cool with. I'm going to leave these ones on there because they are a prick to get off and on. I'm just going to take them off and them off. So I'm going to leave them alone because I don't need to come off. So moving along, this side's good. I'm just going to redo that surround here. That mirror is actually a bit loose as well, so I'm going to redo that mirror as well since I'm at it. So front wise, it's pretty good. I don't think there's anything really to do on the front. There's a couple of stone chips, so I'm just going to cover them, and just purely to prevent rust. So I'm going to replace the indicators. So these are faded from years and years of use, and you can see different color. So I'm just going to put two new indicator lenses on them. They're cheap, very cheap to buy. Also, all the wheels, this obviously you're supposed to paint these bolts when you put them on. So I didn't know that. So there's all surface rust on every single bolt. So I'm going to have to get them cleaned up and then get some paint on there to protect them. So I'll just quickly do the other jobs. So as you can see, another mismatched paint. So I'm going to have to make a decision on what I do with the engine bay. So it's a bit more work pulling this engine out than the old Crossfire, of course. But I thought I wouldn't mind doing the engine mounts for the hell of it, purely because it's probably been a long time since I've done the engine mounts. So I'm probably going to pull this out. The other thing, the aircon's not working at the moment because it's leaked out gas. So there's a leak. I think it's on the fitting up here on the condenser. So I'm sure that's where it is. There's oil down there. So it'd be a good opportunity to actually pull this out and give it a good once over and get things retaped. Get it all taped, get the stuff that doesn't get used anymore out of there. And then just give it that paint, a coat of paint. I want to get this thing fixed up properly as well. I want to get that I'm going to put a coating on this bonnet instead, but I'll clean the bonnet up. As you can see, a lot of this work needs to be done. It's not rust, it's just sticky, crappy stuff. So I'm going to get that relined in black and actually just get the stuff that sticks on there. So that'll be a much better way of doing it. So yeah, that's probably it. So I'm going to have to make a decision on all that. And while I'm at it, I'll just simply change, while the engine's out, I'll just put a new sump gasket on it for the hell of it. Purely because it's out. I'll redo all the oils and fluids and all that. Again, cheap stuff, easy to do. And then I'll just get that coat, repaint the engine bay to match the actual paint on the outside. So it's a job, but not excessively expensive. Just more time than anything. So yeah, I'll get these bottles refurbished and get things tidied up and neatened up. That's all I'll do. You know, get those sort of lines replaced, make it look pretty again. That's all, as simple as that. So I'll chuck some rust preventer in it as well while I'm at it, just purely through the bonnet, through all the sills. I'll go and do all that all the way around the car. So, you know, the normal fish oil that you do. So I'll chuck them in the sills, chuck them everywhere I can find, and redo the sills. So no rust as such on this, other than what I showed you on the potential little bits up there above the back wheel. So yeah. So that's probably it for the outside. Oh no, I do have one more. So yes, I'm going to be pulling the wipers. I think I know how to do this by now. I'm going to pull the wipers and get that plenty checked, because I'm sure there's a hole in there somewhere, because I'm still getting drips through the floor. Very common. So I'm assuming this here, the vent here, has probably got a bit of corrosion on it, and this drain in here that drains out under here is probably blocked. It's probably been blocked for years. So I'll pull the wipers. I'll give them a service as well. I'll put new wiper, those new wiper bloody arms on it, and I'll get some new wiper blades at the same time, just purely for servicing reasons. So really that's it for the outside. That shouldn't be too bad. There's ways you can fix these things. You don't need to weld them. You use the steel glue. Your steel cover, which just as good. It's waterproof, works well, and then you just coat it, and that'll be fine. So that'll stop the leaks coming inside the car. So, but it basically never gets wet, so it hasn't actually been a problem. So the other thing, what I'm going to do, there's a couple of little jobs I've got to do on the interior. So at the moment, the speakers in the rear are not connected properly. They make noise, but clearly there's something wrong with the connections of the speaker. So I'm going to get that fixed up. I got a little bit of carpet. When I replaced the carpet last time, I inadvertently cut a bit wrong. See that? Stupid me. Very annoying. So I'm going to have to redo that little bit of carpet, and I'll get some glue and really spend a bit of time making that pretty. I've got spare carpet, so it's not a problem. I'll replace the brake pedal as well. I'm going to tidy this system up in here. Yeah, I'll swap the other wheel. So I've got a brand new wheel, so I'm going to swap that over to another wheel. Do little jobs, get this paint matched in here done. I'll just give the seat belts a service. And I've got to find a couple of little covers for the seatbelt covers as well. Dash wise, it's good. All the other electronics is good. So seat wise, I'm going to have to replace this seat here, but I've got a spare from the old station wagon that I had 18 months ago. So I've got a spare seat here. This one's still flat across the back. Doesn't have the old left arm lean on it. So it's still got a little bit of damage on the, I'm still going to have to do some repairs on the cloth, but that's okay. So I'll swap the runners over, because the runners are really good on that. These are a bit rusty and a bit crappy, but that'll be fine. That's the base I'll need. It's the frame I'll be using on this seat here, so not the material, so that won't be a problem. Right. So yeah, I'll get those speakers done, get the seat done. And other than that, I don't think I've got that much to do in here, because I actually redid the interior not long ago on this car. So the rear seat belts need a little bit of a tidy up, so they're a little bit faded just from where the sun was. Sun's hits all the time. So like I said, I'll get these doors adjusted. Just a few little things, you know, like that, come off a bit. You can see the lean. Oh, I probably can't see it with the camera. But yeah, she kicks pretty hard to the left. It kicks a lot that way. It's like sitting on there. As soon as you sit on, she goes like that. I'm a big hooler, I can't help that. So you can see the colours, the seat belt's faded, so I'll fix that up. Yeah, so other than that, in here is pretty good because I've already redone all here in here anyway. So that's about it though. That's my plans. So I'm gonna have to make a bit of a decision once I've done all the prep work on the paint. I'm probably gonna have to send it to a pro, I'd imagine. To get the colour match is going to be beyond my skill level, I would only imagine. So I'll get it all prepped, chuck it on a tow truck and take it to a pro. And then they can spend the time getting the fine primer coats on. And then just they can do the colour matching, because most of it's good. It's just little bits here and there to do the colour matching. And really that's it. So there's nothing else to actually do on it. So I've got a bunch of spare parts. I've got some spare gear here. A few bits and pieces of the car that I was going to use to replace some of the bits that were broken. So that's okay. So other than that, that's the job on the old XE. So I'll be doing that over the next couple of months. And yeah, there's not really much to do on videos, but I'll show you as I go through it, I guess. It's nothing really difficult. Oh, the other thing, I'll get the spare wheel sorted out as well. So I've got a spare in there, but it's the wrong wheel. So I've got the 5th Simmons wheel that I had from ages ago. So I'm just going to redo that Simmons wheel. And I'll just put a tyre on it and throw her in the boot. That way we've got 5 wheels the same then. Yeah, so really that's about it. So that's all I'm going to do on this car. I was going to put the spotties back on it, but I just thought, oh, stuff it, I'll just leave them. I'll leave it like that. I don't need the spotties back on there. I've got them sitting in there. But for the sake of it, I'm just going to leave it here. And I'm going to get the aircon fixed up to get the aircon working properly on this thing. So I'll get that aircon leak fixed when I get the engine, when I put the engine back in. And that should be good to go then. So that should tie me over for a couple of months while I collect some money for the other panel van. So, righto. Cool. First job will be to clean the shed, because I've got a bit of a mess in here at the moment. I've got to reorganise things a little bit and go from there. No worries. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Cheers.